live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watches on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Real quick, before I get into this game, very frustrating game. But real quick, I am going on a little vacation, go see some family for my siblings and stuff like that for the holidays. I'll be back Monday. But I have scheduled videos for tomorrow and the rest of the week. I've been working like a madman. But I have scheduled videos on all the channels. If any major news happens, like, on Sunday, if the Lakers end up pulling off a trade or something like that, then I will jump on. Probably won't be the best quality because I'll probably just be doing it from my phone, most likely wherever I'm at. But unless some major news happens, you'll have just like the scheduled videos. So just keep in mind, if they're all good right now, but if for whatever reason, like, something weird happens or whatever, or we get some like, minor news, just keep in mind if you hear something where it's like, oh wait, this already happened or whatever, just keep in mind they're all pre-recorded. I'm not recording them in real time because, again, I'll be in California. I'll be visiting in California. So just want to give everyone a heads up. The Sunday game, I probably will not be doing a live stream because, again, I'll be out there, and I don't want to like take time. If I can, like if I have some hiatus or time in between, then I will. But just keep that in mind. Just wanted to kind of give that PSA. I'll reiterate that later in the stream just to remind people once we start getting the audience and more trickling in. But just wanted to give you guys a heads up. If like I don't respond to comments and stuff like that, that's why I'm just busy. I'm just caught up. But anyway, as far as this game goes, this game is incredibly frustrating because we should have won this game. If the Lakers cut their turnovers in half, we win this game. If they have even 5 fewer turnovers, this might have been a completely different game. We had 21 turnovers to 17 assists. We had more turnovers than assists. You're not winning very many games, if any, with that. You're just not. You're not winning very many games turning the ball over. You have to take care of the basketball. This team is so frustrating in that regard. I like the effort, particularly on the defensive end. I really do think that they did a great job defensively. I really do think that this, the Lakers, outside of the turnovers, actually had a solid game. Were there some fumbles, bad shots, stuff like that? Sure. But this thing is just, this is a game that we should have won on the road in Minnesota, against Minnesota, without LeBron. But because we can't take care of the basketball, that's what happens, right? That is so frustrating to me. Because again, this is a game that the Lakers absolutely had no excuse to lose. No excuse. And it's so frustrating to see a team just essentially beat themselves. This is a game that the Lakers should have won. This was a very low scoring game. They couldn't get over the hump. They kept getting it to, 5 and just could not get over that. You see that all the time. Lakers didn't lead once this game, if I'm not mistaken. And you see that a lot. Like teams just, they get it close and then they can't get over that hump. But as far as players showed up and stuff like that, I am very disappointed in Rui Hachimura. This was a game that I expected Rui to be really good in and just be better. Same thing with D'Angelo Russell, but D'Angelo Russell ended up getting 3 fouls early. He only played 4 minutes early on. And then I felt like he was just trying to play catch up after that, where I do think maybe he would have settled better, but I mean, he still had a bad game. Dalton Connect, he's a rookie. Again, I'm not going to get too much on him because he is a rookie, but he is in a bad stretch. I do, however, I love the 9 rebounds. He's been rebounding very good this year. Again, after he has that athleticism, he just goes straight up. He had there was 3 times where we almost had turnovers, and he just jumped up and got it. His vert is insane, but yeah, it's we need him to kind of figure some stuff out. But I do like the 9 rebounds in that regard. Outside of that, not really too much. Austin Reeves, overall shooting wasn't great, but his first game back, right? I thought he did some nice things. He gave you 18, 5, and 6, or 18, 6, and 5. I thought he rebounded well, made some nice plays. Turnovers, right? He was actually one of the ones that took care of the basketball. He only had 2 turnovers, where Max had 4, Rui had 3, AD had 4, Gabe Vincent had 3. So I was good because usually you see like Lakers had 21 assists, and usually it's like Austin Reeves and LeBron James have like 12 of them. Austin Reeves took care of the basketball, which I like to see. And then obviously LeBron James didn't play. So this was, again, just a team effort in turnovers, right? Like this was a masterclass in how to turn the ball over, which is incredibly frustrating. Anthony Davis, 23 and 11. Now, I would have liked him to be a little better. I didn't like the 5 threes, especially when you're not making them. I know he hit that one earlier. Also, free throws, man. We missed like a bunch of free throws. What did we shoot from the foul line? We shot 64%. We missed 6 free throws. Right? I mean, this is a completely different game if you make your free throws. You make your free throws, entirely different. This game, like Lakers are in this game, maybe even potentially could win this game. Turnovers and missed free throws really turned around and bit this team in the behind. Max Christie continues to just get better and better, man. I really like what we're seeing from Max Christie lately, right? He's getting after it defensively, rebounding the ball well. Again, another 5 rebounds, 3 of which were offensive, 2 assists, 1 steal. He had 15 points, 5 of 9 overall from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3. He's impacting the game in a multitude of ways, in ways that just don't affect the box score, like I've talked about, right? You look at his stats, it's like, oh, he had a great stat game. But if you actually watch the game, he really was out there impacting the game in several facets. And I really enjoyed that. Cam Reddish had himself a really good game too. 3-point range, not great, 0 of 3. But just, again, impacting the game in a multitude of ways that are beyond the box score, right? Like seeing things, the hockey assist, as well as just, getting after it on the defensive side, as well as I like the defensive intensity overall this game. Like if there's any positive takeaway from this game, it is the defensive intensity. I loved that. I love that the Lakers really buckled down, and like it wasn't the full game, but really buckled down, particularly like a quarter and a half. If they could just put that together for an entirety of a game, Lakers might actually make some noise here. And then Christian Coloco didn't score, but again, another guy that I thought really impacted the game in ways beyond just the box score. I thought he really was doing a nice job in that regard. But again, overall, just not a great game, right? You can't take care of the basketball. You take care of the basketball. Reckless passes, all this nonsense. It's so frustrating watching this team just possession after possession turning the ball over. It's like you had more turnovers than assists. That's inexcusable. That can't happen. You can't have more turnovers than you have assists. But hopefully, Lakers get a trade done. Sunday is the unofficial trade season, right? Sunday is the first time where we can finally start making some trades on the 15th. So hopefully, fingers crossed, get something done. I don't expect it on the 15th, but hopefully like on or around the 15th would be nice. But anyway, let's get into all of your super chats and all of the questions and stuff. Try to go for probably about 45 minutes. Like I said, because I'm leaving like at like 3 a.m. So need to finish up, get all my thumbnails finished and everything. So I got a lot of work to do. Because like I said, I am real quick because got a lot more people since I started. I have videos scheduled on all the channels, As It Stands Sports, AS, The Lakers Show, this channel. Video scheduled between tomorrow and Monday, like particularly Monday morning. So if there's any major news, like if we get some major news, then I'll talk about it. I'll touch on it. It'll probably won't be great quality because it'll probably just be me on my phone. But I'm going to California to visit my family for the holidays and stuff like that. I'm leaving at 3 a.m. and I won't be back till like Monday morning. So just keep that in mind. So if there's anything like in the video that maybe something's changed or something is not right, just keep in mind that like, okay, these are pre-recorded. I just wanted to make sure that I still got you guys some content, still got you some stuff up on the channel for you guys to watch too. Or if I'm not responding to comments and stuff the way that I usually do, just keep that in mind. But diving into it, Kirby Lawn Stocking coming out to $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. AD should not be playing center. It's not working. This team needs to the the minutes. Braun went to the 4. AD gets exposed by physical and athletic centers. I need to go back to the 4. We won with it. Problem is LeBron. As long as LeBron's on this team, he's going to have to play the 5, right? It's not like Anthony Davis has made it clear he doesn't want to play the 5. You've had 2 coaches now all just decide, too bad, you have to play the 5 because it's not because they just want to spite AD. It's because of LeBron, right? LeBron has to play the 4. Now, if you get another center, you can, have moments where you have AD and LeBron. But also, if you have the perimeter defense, you take so much pressure off of LeBron or take so much pressure off of Anthony Davis. Sorry, right? Like, yes, Anthony Davis, it would be nice to have help in the interior to help him rebound, but also teams just jack up more threes against the Lakers than any other team, right? Like, what did they have? I guarantee they probably had close to 40. They had 30. Oh, they actually only took 32. Teams are averaging like 38 attempts or something crazy like that on the Lakers from three-point range. And it usually leads to long rebounds and stuff like that, which why it looks so bad. You also don't have the athleticism. It's just you add in all these factors, it looks a lot worse than it is. I do agree. Yes, the season we won, we had Dwight, JaVale, guys like that. But also you got to keep in mind in the playoffs, Lakers ran Anthony Davis at the 5 a lot, right? I mean, he was closing games. He was playing a majority of his minutes at the 5 during the playoffs. But again, the problem is LeBron. It's not that the Lakers just don't want Anthony Davis. It's just LeBron has to play the 4 at this stage because he gets to take rest. He gets to take plays off. He gets to take possessions off, right? Like, how many times do we see him, like, not even try on the defensive side? Like, how many times do we see him just, like, camping out, doing nothing, right? Like, it's because he could do that at the 4. If he has to slide over and play the 3, he can't do that, right? Because that's where all the strong side action is. It's a strong side, right? So all the actions on that side, he has to account for, perimeter defense, helping out in just the rotations and stuff where he can't camp is my point, right? Where at the 4, that's kind of how they mask him in between. But my hope is if the Lakers get the right trades, get the proper trades, then 1, you might be able to lower LeBron's minutes so you can get 80 more at the 4. And 2, if you have more help, out on the perimeter, that takes pressure off Anthony Davis to have to. I mean, how many times do we see this game? Guys just getting blown by and Anthony Davis having to clean it up, right? Anthony Davis having to block shots or be that deterrent or whatever, right? Well, if you have guys that just aren't getting blown by every possession, well, then Anthony Davis doesn't have to do as much. He can exert more energy in other areas, right? So it's a mess. It is a mess, but I appreciate you, Crippy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Super Chat. Seriously, appreciate that a ton. All right, let's get into the regular chat. A trade won't save this team. A trade, yes, a singular trade will not save this team unless it's like a huge haul, right? Like if they trade for, Valanciunas, yeah, Valanciunas by himself isn't saving this team. You're right. But if the Lakers can pull off and get, 3, 4 guys, yes, I absolutely think that. This is basketball. You upgrade 2 of your 5 starters, guess what? You're that much better, right? Like, it just depends on, like, how much is Rob Pelinka going to be able to pull off in the trade market. But again, don't underestimate the value of this is basketball. 1 guy makes a big difference, right? Now you start adding in, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. A lot can change. But yes, a trade, a singular trade, is not going to save the Lakers. Reeves ain't him. I actually thought he had a decent game. I've been very critical of Reeves. I mean, he's not a third guy. He's not the guy that take over, when LeBron's out. But, I thought he had a solid game. Cancel this franchise. They keep stealing our money so we can watch bum players play bum games. Hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully something gets done sooner rather than later. Let's see. Whoever thinks Braun is leaving LA is ridiculous. I'm sorry. This fan base is so annoying. Look, I don't think LeBron's leaving. Never say never, right? Strange things have happened, but I don't buy it. I mean, there's all these conspiracies and people like, oh, it's this. It's silly to me. Like, he's had so many he's had so many opportunities to leave the Lakers that if he wanted to leave the Lakers, he could have been left the Lakers. Let's see. Dustin coming out to $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Seriously, I appreciate that. if I'm the Lakers, I'm trading Christie and Max Lewis to Chicago for Io and Torrey Craig. Then we go get Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron from the Nets. Look, I'm not against it. Although I really like what Max Christie's been doing lately, I do like Io a lot, and I do think you could justify that. Christie has been good lately, like not just like box score good, but just like impacting the game in a multitude of ways. I would rather like stack guys. Like I'm all for like Torrey Craig would be nice, but so I have a video again scheduled because I scheduled all these videos. So I have a video scheduled about why am I blanking on his name? Cody Martin. There we go. Cody Martin's available. Instead of going and getting Torrey Craig, I would love to like see the Lakers go get like Io, go do the Nets trade and go get like Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe. I wouldn't even care if you got Dennis Schroeder, right? But let's say you got Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, Cody Martin, and then if you could go and get Martin. So like you could like if you told me the Lakers ended up with like Day'Ron Sharpe, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, Cody Martin, and Io, chef kiss. Like that would be beautiful. Like that would be perfect. I would love something like that. But yeah, I mean it just comes down to like what the costs are for everything, right? Like would they be willing to take Io? Also would they want Max Christie for Io? Yeah, Christie is younger, so there is that argument to be made there. However, like if they're going to get rid of Io, it's probably for something that's other than a guard, right? Because they already have like a ton of guards. But yeah, I mean, look, Dustin, if they could pull something like that off, I'd be all for it. Not against it at all. But I appreciate you. Thank you, Dustin. Sorry, Stakes coming out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Like what we did defensively, shots wasn't falling. Yeah, look, I said this earlier. I don't know if you're here. I really loved defensively what the Lakers put together this game. I thought they were really getting after it. I thought the energy, the effort, I thought that was there. It's good. Turnovers killed, man. If you just they had more turnovers than assists. 21 turnovers to 17 assists. You're not winning very many games, if any, doing that, right? And it's just like if you just had, 17 turnovers, Lakers might have won this game, right? It might have been a completely different game. Yeah, shots weren't falling and stuff like that. But to me, this boiled down to turnovers, lack of taking care of the basketball, right? Because they were in this game despite turnovers. Right? Imagine what would have happened if they didn't have the turnovers. The Lakers might have blown them out, right? And so I said earlier, if there's any good takeaway from this game, it's the defensive intensity. The defensive intensity was there, and you got to like that. You got to love that. But again, I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. See how important is LeBron, because versus great teams, we don't show up. I mean, I think guys showed up. They just didn't hit shots. I mean, this looked like a game without LeBron. They showed up more than they have in a long time. I don't think this was about them showing up. The intensity was there. The energy was there. The defense side. This is just turning the ball over. However, look, I've said numerous times that the Lakers, they're not better without LeBron. They can win games without LeBron, right? When D'Lo and Rui play well, which Rui didn't, and D'Lo, I felt, was trying to play catch-up after he ended up getting in foul trouble early on, where, like, what does it look like if he was able to get in a rhythm early, right? Does he have the same kind of game? I don't know, maybe. But I don't think that this was, like, guys not showing up. I thought they actually did show up this game. I just think turnovers and lack of shot making really, really hurt this team. Devonte Graham, any good? So, yeah, so for those that don't know, the Lakers signed Devonte Graham to the G League. Question is why? Right? Devonte Graham, 29 years old. He's not some like young prospect that they'd be interested in. That mean a trade's coming? That mean they're close to working something out? Maybe. It's very interesting. It would make sense. You'd want Devonte Graham to kind of go to the G League, get some reps because he hasn't played, get some reps in. And then whenever the Lakers are able to pull off a trade, likely after the 15th, so probably sometime next week is probably my guess. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, we can bring this guy up. So As far as Devonte Graham goes, is he good? Yes and no. He is a vacuum scorer. He is a guy that when he's on, the dude could cook. If I'm not mistaken, he's had like a 50-point game or like a 46-point game or something like that. I think his career high is like 46, something like that, somewhere in that ballpark, right? He's a guy that like can be that vacuum scorer off the bench, right? That he can make some plays, make some assists, right? He's had some good productive seasons off the bench. Can be very inefficient at times when he's not, and he's 6'1", like 195. So defense, he doesn't give you like the defensive looks and stuff like that. But if you need just a guy that can just go put the ball in the hoop, Devonte Graham could be good. My hope with Devonte Graham, if they do bring him to the main roster, is can he kind of be like a Malik Monk-esque, right? When we had him, right? Now, Malik Monk now is better than even when we had him, and he's evolved into that like sixth man, go get your bucket type guy. However, if you remember, Malik Monk came to us for a vet minimum because he wasn't getting the offers he wanted. People thought he was, basically Devonte Graham, right? Undersized, inefficient scorer who can't defend. When he's on and he's hot, he can go up and light it up. When he's not, can't. And he came to the Lakers, played alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and lit it up. Devonte Graham has been on nothing but bad teams pretty much his whole career. So very different when you're on a bad team to compare to like, I'm playing with a bunch of bad guys than on a team like the Lakers. I know people get like, Lakers are a bad team. They have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, right? Big difference playing against that kind of caliber guys and the looks that he's going to get. So my hope is that he can kind of be like, that he could be the next Malik Monk story for us. Where, Malik Monk came, a lot of questions, a lot of like, he's not going to be, like, this was just a waste of, like, hey, it was a cool signing, young guy, don't know why he did it, odd, probably could have gotten like $5 million somewhere or something like that, and he wanted to prove his worth. That's kind of how I look at Devonte Graham. If you're looking for him to be that like 3-and-D Gabe Vincent guy, no. If you're looking for him to kind of be the answer to our problems, no. If you understand who he is, I think he's fine. I would be all for bringing him on because you need that guy that can just go get a bucket, right? And he's a guy that can get a bucket on any given night. He's a guy that on a random night could go give you 20. Got another super chat. Six coming out with another $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Rui needs to be more aggressive rebounder. The problem is he just doesn't have the athleticism, right? He's so flat-footed. Like, he's got the lower center of gravity, so it's hard for him to, like, jump up. He's never going to be that guy. I mean, I agree. I want him to be that guy too, but he's just never going to be that guy. And that's the problem. It's hard. It's frustrating because it's just like, like, we need so, like, it'd be nice if Rui could be on any given night a 10 rebound guy. Right? It's just like you don't see that. I mean, he wasn't like terrible rebounding, right? He gave us what, 7? Can he get 7 rebounds? But it's just you look at him sometimes, and it's like more often than not, he's just like slotted out. Yeah, he gave us 7 rebounds. He's just not what we need as far as like the rebounding and athletic wing. He's just not that, and he's just unfortunately not going to be that, which is frustrating, but. Again, I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't know why people say that stuff. Again, they can win without LeBron. They are still, I think, a solid team without LeBron at times, but they're not better without LeBron. LeBron is literally staying with the Lakers. Nothing is going to happen. Then nobody will say anything, and life will be normal, and all the cows and pigs will be happy. Yeah, essentially. Rui AD, can you guys get a rebound? If we got that rebound, we could have cut it to 2. Yeah, earlier in the game, yeah. They were fighting over it and just fell right into it. Yeah, we really should have one. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I feel it. I'm right there with you. AD versus good teams just side. I don't think he did. I didn't think he had it at all. I mean, again, going up against Rudy Gobert, Julius, like they're packing the paint. Every time he touches the basketball, he's like facing 4 guys. Like I thought he had a solid game. Again, it's just turnovers. This is a game that we should have won. Turnovers. Coach shouldn't be. This isn't on the coach. This is on the roster. Rui can't grab him for his live. D'Lo shooting circus shots. Yeah, like I said, it kind of felt like D'Lo because he got taken out early due to fouls because he got in foul trouble early. Kind of felt like he was trying to make up time, and there was just like some of his shots, like just like, dude, come on, get a better shot than that. Good evening, bro. I couldn't watch the game today. Just got home. Who played better and who played worse on the Lakers? I mean, this game really boiled down to turnovers. Lakers, they took care of the ball half of what they turned it over. They turned it over like 15 times. Lakers might have actually won this game. Turnovers were the death of them. However, you know, yeah, Max Christie had a nice game. No, Reeves was solid. I thought he had a solid game. Not like great shooting overall, but I thought he did some things. Was getting after it defensively. Had some good assists. Took care of the basketball for the most part. Not really much to write home about. The one positive takeaway is the defense. The defense really good. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. Me. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something. Me. Oh, there we go. Super chat. Michael, coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. This next month and a half will shape the Lakers' near future. Either we sink or swim because I feel only a run will salvage trade talks in our favor. Yeah, I mean, look, I've talked about it for since the offseason. Right? Like, the best way to stay patient and remain patient and not approach trades from a point of desperation is to play well, right? Is to maintain that distance, right? So, like, if the Lakers are 5, 6, 7 games over 500, right? Well, now it's like, I don't have to, like, I want this guy. I don't need this guy, right? It's just, it's a completely different conversation. But when the Lakers are, 500 or, a game above 500, now the conversation changes because it's like, we know you need this guy, right? Guys playing well, guys cooking, things are going great. Guess what happens? Right now you're not as desperate. You're not in a place of desperation like you are on the other end, right? So it's just, that's the problem. That's the frustrating part. Is like, we need the Lakers. You're not wrong. Like, this next month and a half is really going to shape. I hope we pull off at least 1 or 2 minor moves, right? If you want to be patient, wait for the big trade, fine, so be it. Like, even if they get, say it's Valanciunas and I don't know, Cody Martin that I was talking about earlier, right? Even if it's just say it's just those 2 guys, fine, right? Give me those 2, bring them in, start, working towards things, start fixing some of the problems, and then get to okay, now we got the Nets trade or whatever, right? That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see kind of like how, a couple seasons ago, we did the Rui trade, right? And you did the Rui trade and you got that. And then you had the big swing trade took place later, right? That's my hope. That's where I'm at with that. So fingers crossed, but appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mikkel. Seriously, thank you. Turnovers still happening is embarrassing. Yeah, this was, I mean, again, the game was right there if you took it up. Where's your wonder boy, Dalton? Y'all hyped him up so fast because he was great. Again, he's on a shooting slump. He's a rookie. Steph Curry has gone on a 2-week slump before. It happens, right? That's why I'm not critical of Dalton Connect right now. He's fine. He'll figure it out. He'll be all right. Don't relax, Diego. Where are the people who say they play better with LeBron? I couldn't wait till today. I mean, do you want the Lakers to lose today? Let's see. Lakers have no consistent score. We literally went 6 minutes with 0 points in the fourth quarter. Yep, that's the problem. That's why people wonder why I want a Zach LaVine. People are always like, why you always talk about Zach LaVine? Huh? Because would we really have gone 6 minutes without scoring a bucket with Zach LaVine? Probably not. Nah, it's trade Bron so he can go to a serious team, but he doesn't want to again. I'm not against, like I said, you got to pick a lane. You got to pick a lane. That's the problem. You got to pick a lane. Tyler, you said D'Lo and Rui were going to be good. Unfortunately, they can't perform when they play a good defensive team. I mean, that's not true. Go look at there's games last year that prove that. D'Lo got into foul trouble. What does he look like without foul trouble? Rui had a bad game. They didn't have a great game today. But again, like the last year and a half range true just because a bad game. Like if LeBron breaks his 10-point record, right, and scores 8 next game, does that mean like we all think that like, oh, he's not going to get 10 again? No, it's just, again, like bad games happen. This is a tough game, right? Like D'Lo and Rui aren't like stars or anything like that, but they do play better when LeBron doesn't play. But like I said, even in the last game, they're not better without LeBron. Like this Lakers team overall isn't better without LeBron, but D'Lo and Rui usually play better games because Rui gets to slot in at the 4, D'Lo gets to slot in at the point guard, gets to have the ball in his hands more and gets to make plays. Problem is, D'Lo got taken out of the game early on because of the fouls. Otherwise, maybe that would have been a little different. But yeah. Let's see. I need Jeannie and Rob out immediately. Jeannie probably not, but Rob maybe. This looks like a middle school team. It's over and it's depressing, Tyler. I feel it. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. I need Rui off my team. Now you got to trade Rui, D'Lo. Again, you got to trade essentially everybody. No one on this team should be untradeable. We need a news conference. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I really do wish like GMs and organizations like had conversations and like filled you in. Problem is like it's just you can't like what is he supposed? He can't say anything. What is he supposed to say? Like oh yeah, I'm like right in the middle of working on this trade. We're just hashing it out. Like yes, we turned it around mid-season after the deadline. That one time after that team was 2-10, but they still had decent players and Schroeder, TBJ, and now we have a ton of players that suck on both, and we just have like too many one-dimensional guys, and that's the problem. When the one thing that they're good at doesn't show up, guess what happens? Not gonna lie, but we get Jonas, LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, that my ass off for look. I'm all for it. Like, problem is like you'd have to essentially probably trade Austin Reeves. Look, I have said go get LaVine, go and then go do the Nets trade. You could literally get LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, and Day'Ron Sharpe, and you could even get, like I said, Cody Martin if you wanted to, and let's go win a championship. There are only like 3 good teams. There are only like 3 good West Conference teams. OKC, Dallas, and Memphis. Yeah. Memphis, I still think. I still don't trust them in the playoffs. Someone said D'Lo and Rui play well when LeBron's out, which is true. Again, one bad game doesn't necessarily. If somebody has 10 games, a 10-game sample size of when LeBron's out, they're good, and then they have one dud, does that mean the other 9 games weren't true? No. Good. Like, even if you're going off of percentages, right? Like I said earlier, if LeBron doesn't score 10 points in the next game and he breaks his streak, are we all like, oh, LeBron's never going to score 10 again? Like, no. It's about the history. What does the track record show? What does the track record say? Right? Like, if a guy like Julius Randle, for example, in this game, Julius Randle made 21 straight free throws and then he missed one. You know what he did the next free throw attempt? He made it, right? Like, so after he made that free throw, we all just gonna be like, well, he's not a good free throw shooter. It's like, no, like he got right back to it, right? Like, what does the next game look like without LeBron and AD? Rui and D'Lo probably play better. that doesn't mean that they're better without LeBron, that the Lakers overall as a team are better without LeBron. Again, just because one game happens doesn't mean it erases the other 15 that they've had. Lakers need to rebuild, get off the contracts, trade AD, and let stars come when the contracts expire. AD did not lead tonight. Look, I'm not against the rebuild. I just want the Lakers to pick a direction. Make a decision, right? Either if you're gonna rebuild, right? Like pick a lane is my point, right? And look, it's always better to be early to a rebuild than late, right? You see teams all the time are usually late to a rebuild. Where's Andrew when you need him? Rather have 2 years of garbage since we already are garbage. Get the books clean and wait for the guys that will come in free agency. By the way, fire JJ. He's not a coach either. I disagree. I think JJ's been great. I think he's been fine. You can only do so much with the talent you have, right? Like, I don't care who the coach is. Like, you can't help how bad this defense is. You can't help guys turning the ball over. Like, you can only micromanage as a coach so much. But I have a video that I scheduled because, like I said, I scheduled all the videos. I have a video where I talk and broke down like if you wanted to rebuild, but also if you wanted to remain competitive with trading LeBron. And I'm not gonna lie, I really at the end of that video, I was like, I actually kind of want the Lakers to do it. I don't want to spoil it because I spent so much time on that video, but essentially you trade LeBron and then do most of the same moves. So essentially, you trade LeBron to the Warriors, get Kuminga, Moses Moody, Andrew Wiggins, and then whatever salary filler, and then go trade for Zach LaVine and go do the Nets trade. And I broke down the pieces and I was like, that team is really good, right? You'd have Dennis Schroeder. So your starting five could be Dennis Schroeder, what was it? Damn it. It was Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins. No, yeah, it was Dennis Schroeder, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron James, or Jonathan Kuminga, and Anthony Davis. Right? I really like that starting five. I don't know if you win a championship with that starting five, but you're athletic, you're versatile, you got offense, you got defense, you got perimeter wings. That was crazy. I was just like, man, you could do that. And then you'd still have Dorian Finney-Smith, Max Christie, Dalton Connect. Go sign Markelle Fultz because Lakers want Markelle Fultz. You got Day'Ron Sharpe. Right? You'd be 7 deep. Literally 7 deep. Or not 7 deep. You'd be 9 deep of high-end talent. I think you'd actually be a better overall team. Honestly. I really liked that after I was done with it. I was like, hang on a second. Time for a rebuild. Like I said, I'm not against it. I just want them to pick a lane. No one can tell me that having 80 at the 5 is the best move forward. If Dallas can have 2 bad defenders, Luka and Kyrie, and still be a decent defensive team. I mean, a couple things. PJ Washington. This season, they're not anywhere close to what they were last season. But it's also just effort, energy, right? It's having pieces that matter. LeBron is a 4. How is that an issue? It's like asking Jaren Jackson to play a 3. Yeah. At this stage of his career, yeah, he is. Damn, we suck. Yeah, not great. Bron and Curry. Again, I'm not against it. The basketball fan in me would love to see LeBron and Curry team up. I would love to see those two on the basketball court. I would prefer it on the Lakers with Anthony Davis, but no, the basketball fan in me would love to see that happen. Goswin, LeBron at the 4 and AD at the 5 is not working anymore. I understand you think it's best for Bron to be at the 4, but it's only best for him and doesn't help anyone else. But the problem is that wearing down LeBron and him being a liability out there at the 3 doesn't help the Lakers either, right? You need, again, if you have the perimeter help, which is why I continue to say how important the perimeter help is. If you go and get the perimeter defense, LeBron James and Anthony Davis at the 4 and 5 aren't going to be as bad. Think of the 2020 season, right? when we closed games, and usually for large stretches of games, you had like Avery Bradley, Alex Caruso, Kyle Kuzma, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Right? They were running that. Or they'd have like Rondo out there, whatever. So, but you had the perimeter defense, you had the point of attack, you had the versatility out there, the perimeter to mask and help out. And then also LeBron was just better defensively too, but still, like it looked better when it was out there. You'd have the same similar result. But LeBron moving to the three and just getting blown by every possession, or him getting worn out, or him getting hurt, you're not winning a championship without LeBron, right? Like you're just not. Even if you go pull off all the trades. So either you have to be okay with LeBron at the 4 and you figure out the rest, or you need to trade LeBron. I mean, that's what it is. I get people want it the other way. But again, LeBron would have to exert double the energy for 35 minutes a game at the 3. He's already dealing with the foot injury that he's had for years now, right? Like he's either going to end up getting hurt, or you're going to end up wearing him down so bad that he might as well not even be there. And doing that to LeBron doesn't help the Lakers either, right? So it's kind of, it's a catch-22. Let's see. You always say AR is not a starting caliber player. How about Rui? How many contending teams would he start on? I'd trade him for Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, or Hunter. 100 as I have said repeatedly. I have probably said Rui should be on the bench more than Austin Reeves. I even made like 3 videos on it recently. I talk about regularly. I think Rui Hachimura is not a 3. I mean, I've made that. I have talked about Rui Hachimura at the 3 more than probably any other player on this team. Like, no joke. Right? Like, I talk about Rui not being a 3 regularly. And I talk about why you got to trade Rui, that I think he should come off the bench. So, yeah, I mean, I regularly talk about that. Like, that's like a big thing for me. Like I said, I talk about AR not being a starting caliber player because I do. I think he's best as a 6th man. But Rui Hachimura, yeah, he should. I even said in the last live stream after the game, because Rui and D'Lo had a great game. I even said in that live stream, I was like, you were in that live stream. You gave me a super chat in that live stream. I said in that live stream that you need to move Rui to the bench so he can play more 4, right? D'Lo and Rui off the bench would just be so much better. Like, I think you should go with the same starting 5 tonight. Just have LeBron instead of Rui, right? So go with Gabe, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Or you could add Connect, whatever. Take out Gabe Vincent, put in Connect, however you want to approach it. But essentially the same starting 5 that you saw tonight, just with LeBron instead of Rui, and then have Rui come off the bench and D'Lo as your 6th and 7th guy. And then when LeBron, at the 7-minute mark, you take out LeBron and Reeves, right? Take LeBron and Reeves out, inject Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell, and I think it'll make things so much better. Personally, I've talked about that a lot, particularly lately, but I appreciate you. Thank you. We don't have a leader. Our 2 stars do not lead. I mean, LeBron is a leader. I mean, the guy's led everywhere he's been. You don't win that many championships and have that successful career without it. But this team is best when AD is at the 5 easily. Y'all just have revisionist history. If we had 2 good athletes at the 2 and 3, we'd be an elite defense. Agreed. I am right there. If you fix the perimeter issues, there won't be as many complaints about AD at the 5. Tyler, I feel like you're saying that Bron and AD are not a good fit anymore. AD is better at the 4. He said he wants to play the 4, and Bron can only play the 4. Ain't that a redundancy? No, because, I mean, Anthony Davis is better statistically at the 5. Like, he's been his whole career, right? Like, go look at, like, the best seasons he's had. Again, he's usually at the 5. And even, like, in the playoffs, right? When we won the championship, yeah, he didn't start at the 5, but he finished in close games at the 5. Right? Like, it's not a redundancy. You just don't have the pieces around them. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are fine at the 4 and 5 if you have the perimeter help, right? Because now you're taking pressure off Anthony Davis, taking pressure off of LeBron James. Watch the games. Like, everybody. Next game, I'll give you, here's some homework from teacher Mr. Tyler, right? Next game, I want you to count how many long ball rebounds there are on the opposing team, right? I want you to count. So that means, outside of like, little box, right? Basically without 5 feet. Any long ball rebounds. Keep track of how many long ball rebounds there are, and I guarantee you it's like probably 20 plus. Right? Whoever ends up getting it, I guarantee you it'll be like half of the total rebounds. Why? Because teams are jacking up threes. Most of the rebounds, all of our defensive efficiencies, everything are because of the perimeter. I'm telling you, keep track of how many long ball rebounds there are. Like balls that essentially go over where the center would be. And watch it. You'll be astonished how many there are. I tell you, people just see that we don't get the rebound. They're not taking into account, like, where did the rebound go? You start paying attention to that stuff, you're going to be like, all right, we're fine. Like 80 at the 5 is fine. Let's see. Vando with LeBron at 4 at 80 at 5 was the best defense in the league. We stayed at number 1 till the year end. He won't be athletic on the perimeter, 2 bigs. Boston 5 out would expose us. Yeah, but that's something else. It's actually a good point. You run 2 bigs against Boston, you're getting ran through. Double bigs, 2 perimeter defenders, and we have LeBron. I guarantee we still top 5 defense of team. We also need another scoring punch badly. Go get Zach LaVine. That's what I'm saying. Problem is that, like, so if you're running 2 bigs, then LeBron's going to be a liability out there on the perimeter defense at the 3. You would have to get essentially 2 elite perimeter defenders. Like, who are those? Right? Like, Dennis Schroeder's good defense. He's not elite. Right? Like, Bruce Brown is a good defensive player, but he's not elite. Like, you need, like, Jared Vanderbilt back healthy, but the problem is then offensively he's just not good. So that's the problem, is that I get your logic, right? Like, teams are switching and calling, but if you have the perimeter help, the problem is we don't have guys that can fight over those switches. We don't, like Jared when do teams ever switch off of Jared Vanderbilt? Right? Like, it almost never happens because he can fight through the screens. He can get over the top, or he can, get and recover, right? So you don't have those issues. When you have the perimeter defender, switch everything. Even Gabe, as our grittier defender, switches. You need another big so you can protect the run. Couple things about that, right? So again, if you have the perimeter defense, you don't have to. You can run different defensive looks. Lakers have to switch everything because they don't have the athletes to fight over screens or fight around screens or do the things necessary on the defensive side, right? You can't have if somebody comes and sets a pick, D'Lo doesn't have the athleticism and strength to get through that. So instead of being behind and now he's trailing the whole time, you just switch it, right? So D'Lo comes in, he gets the pick. Now that's his man. And so teams just set to go take that man, and now I got the man that I want, right? But if you have the defensive players, you don't see that happen to Jared Vanderbilt. Why? Because he can get through and fight through that traffic, right? He can squeeze in and get through. Gabe Vincent, great example. Gabe Vincent in this game, I think it was in the 3rd quarter, did that very thing, right? They tried to pick him. They tried to switch, and he fought through the screen, got through the screen, and ended up staying with the man, and then they had to kick it back out. He completely disrupted the play. If you have the perimeter defenders, that's why I'm telling you, perimeter defense solves 90% of the Lakers' issues. Lakers, even if the Lakers got 3 or 4 perimeter guys and not another big man, they would be probably a contender still. Because again, you can run different looks defensively. You can run different actions. You don't have to switch everything. You don't have to run the same defense, right? And then when one defensive set doesn't work, you can just switch and go to a different one, right? You can't do that when D'Lo, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura are your athletes. When those 3 guys are your athletes, you're stuck. You have incredible limitations is the problem. So just something to keep in mind. I'm telling you, you get like 2 or 3 athletic defensive guys in this starting unit, it changes the entire landscape of this team. We don't have the players to solve the defensive woes. Getting another big, you could go get Miles Turner tomorrow, Walker Kessler tomorrow, and it won't, like, the Lakers will still be, they'll be probably better defensively, but they'll still probably be at best middle of the pack defensive team, right? Like, because why were the Lakers one of the best teams defensively with just Jared Vanderbilt? Because not only can he defend, he's arguably the best perimeter defender in the league, but he covers so much ground. It's not just that he's a good defender, it's that he can defend and he can cover. He can switch, recover, get back. When do you ever see him get beat? And when he does, he is right there. We have joked on this channel about him literally teleporting, right? Like, he's just instant transmission like Goku, right? Like, because he that can give you that, this team changes overnight. If I'll put it like this, if the Lakers say Jared Vanderbilt's healthy tomorrow, if your starting five was Max Christie, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, I don't recommend this. I don't want to see this happen. But to really hit on the point, if that was your starting five, this Lakers team would look completely different. And even while they're playing poorly, it still would not look as bad because they have the athleticism, they have the perimeter defense, they have the things needed to mask everything else, right? Like, that's the difference. The Lakers, when they can't score, what happens? They can't stop the other team. So they're racking up the point total, and we're just like, if we go on like a 2-minute drought, we're down 15 because we can't defend the other team. But like, if you had, like I said, a healthy Jared Vanderbilt, Max Christie, and Cam Reddish in the starting unit, again, don't want that. I'm just trying to make the point count. You would, yes, be a liability offensively, but defensively and rebounding and everything else, you'd be so good that the games would be tighter, right? Like, and then you just kind of plug and play those things. All right, I'm gonna do like a handful of more questions and get on out of here because I still got to do thumbnails and everything, and then I'm leaving for my trip at 3 a.m. So I gotta try to get some sleep tonight. Let's see. Yes, because they're doubling AD the moment. Yeah, because they're not worried about anyone else. Teams aren't worried about no one else. Teams are worried about Anthony Davis when LeBron doesn't play. So Anthony Davis is literally seeing 4-5 guys at a time. Let's see. Of course they could help the team. Are you kidding me? This is basketball. You know, basketball is only 5-on-5, right? Can't let LeBron walk. Again, I'm not against starting a rebuild, but you cannot let LeBron walk. You have to get something for LeBron. The Warriors would give you Kuminga, Moody, and probably whatever else you want. The Warriors want LeBron so badly, you could probably fleece the Warriors just to go get, just so that way they had LeBron James on their team. I'm telling you. Like, you can't just let LeBron walk. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something me. Lakers are done, bro. Nah, they're far from done. A lot of basketball left. A lot of changes to happen. Sorry, trying to find something me. A lot of back and forth. Love it. Let's see. Lakers are really trying their hardest to play between the middle, not giving up assets, but make it seem like they're pursuing a championship, like we are targeting Markelle Fultz when trade deadline coming up. I mean, Markelle Fultz, they're targeting Markelle Fultz because they're planning on pulling off a trade. Like, you're not going to go and get Markelle Fultz because you can't get him unless you pull off the trade, right? So, assuming that they actually really do and are actively trying to get Markelle Fultz. Also, the fact that they went and got Devonte Graham is kind of signaling. I mean, it could be nothing. It could be something. So I do think something is going to happen. Is it going to be the trade that takes us over the top? Probably not. But I do think that the Lakers do something. Tyler's the GOAT, but this is depressing. I feel it. Well, thank you. First off, I appreciate you. And secondly, yes, it is very. Sorry, trying to find something to me. See all the what happened with D'Lo and Rui? I thought that they played better without Bron. They do. Again, just because. Did you watch the game for one? Okay, because D'Lo got in foul trouble early, which kind of set everything back. Then he just started shot checking, trying to catch up because they were down. Rui had a bad game, but like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here earlier because I was behind in the chat, but if something happens 10 times and then it doesn't happen the 11th, does that mean the other 10 times didn't happen? No. Right? Like, again, mentioned earlier, Julius Randle made 21 straight free throws and then missed a free throw. And then what did he do the next time he went to the line? He made both. Right? Like, again, next game, D'Lo and Rui probably are good again. Right? Like, one bad game doesn't mean that, like, the stat isn't accurate. Right? Like, again, LeBron has scored 10 straight points in whatever, 6,000 straight games, right? If next game he only scores 8, does that mean he's never going to score? Does that mean that the likelihood of him scoring 10 the next game is less? No, it just means that he just didn't do it this game, right? So again, things change. Anyway, I'm just getting on out of here because, again, for those that don't know, those that are here, I am going on vacation for the weekend, just a couple days. I'll be back Monday, but I scheduled videos. I have a bunch of scheduled videos for between now and the time I'll get back. So if there's any major news, Lakers pull off a trade or something like that on Sunday or something, then I'll come on. Probably won't be the greatest, like sounding and stuff because I'll probably be doing it on my phone wherever I'm at, depending on where we're at. So keep that in mind. But also if one of the videos, if something's like off or whatever, something else happens, like say let's go get this guy. But like I talk about Cody Martin, like let's say Cody Martin ends up getting traded. Just keep in mind that it's like everything else is true, but keep in mind that that's because it's pre-recorded. So all the videos the next till Monday, like evening, are all going to be pre-recorded. So I just wanted to keep you in mind. And then Sunday, after the game on Sunday, because we do have a game on Sunday, I probably won't be doing a live stream. If I can, like if there's time or if I'm just like at a hiatus, then sure. But don't expect a live stream. If we win, maybe I'll come on for like 10 minutes or something, just do a quick hey, or 20 minutes or something like that. But just want to give everyone a heads up. I'll make a community post about it too. So look after that. But just keep that in mind. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Seriously, help out a ton. Also, everybody that is here, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, you people are beautiful. And I will